Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My respected elders, beloved brothers, and my honorable sisters, if we look around ourselves in the world today, and we look at all the different adyan, all the different religions, and all the different ways of lives, we find therein that all of them have some sort of an authority. And sometimes they don't even have an authority. It's like some sort of an obscure or some sort of a hidden authority that you cannot even reach. Even if you wanted to interact with that authority, connect with that authority, send a message to that authority, ask for something from that authority, it becomes very difficult, and there are a lot of loops, hoops, and barriers in between. But we find in the religion of Al-Islam, the greatest authority in our religion is Allah Rabbul Izzah Jalla fi Ula, whom there is nothing greater than Him, and about whom there is nothing that came before Him. He is the one and only. And so the Tawheed that exists in the religion of Al-Islam is unmatched. It is unfound elsewhere. It is the most powerful system that we have, and the most powerful concept of Allah, of God, that exists on the face of this earth, in that conceptual manner. And so it is a very powerful concept that all of us need to grasp, and it is incumbent upon us to understand. And as such, this authority, Allah Rabbul Izzah Jalla fi Ula, He gives us access. Whether you are the lowest member of this community, you have direct access to Allah Azza wa Jal. You can call upon Allah Azza wa Jal in whatever situation that you're in. And even if you are the highest member of this community, you can call upon Allah Azza wa Jal. There is no distinguishment between these parties. And so when the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in, some of them, they asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where is Allah? And some of them asked him, كيف ندعو Allah? How do we make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal? And so, in response to these questions, Allah Azza wa Jal reveals a verse. And this verse was recited by our Qari in wherever I was praying last night. And it is an amazing verse. A verse, every time I read it, I feel like I am not alone in this universe. There is a greater being there with me, who will respond to me when I call Him. When I ask Him for something, He is there for me, who is always there looking out for me, wanting to help me, wanting for me to grow, wanting for me to succeed, wanting the best for me. And that is Allah Azza wa Jal. And in this verse, Allah Azza wa Jal reveals this verse in response to the question that the Sahaba were asking the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. When they ask, who? My slaves. When they ask about me, then I am surely, definitely, indeed, for a fact, with every emphasis, close. Now, this structure of when the Sahaba or when the people would ask the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for something, Allah Azza wa Jal would usually respond in فَقُلْ لَهُمْ, then say to them such and such. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would become an intermediary, would become a middleman who would respond to the people in terms of what Allah Azza wa Jal wants to respond to us. But in this verse, which is talking about dua, which is talking about a connection between you and the highest authority that exists, Allah Azza wa Jal, there is absolutely no intermediary. There is no middleman. The response is direct. Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. Then this fa here is fa of experience, as in a response, a jawab to the shart. So if they ask, then I am surely. And then this inna here is a harf of tawqeed. It's a harf of emphasis. It brings surety, definiteness, emphasis. It's an emphatic particle. فَإِنِّي. And then the ya here again refers to Allah Azza wa Jal in terms of the personal pronoun. He could have used فَإِنَّنَا, or he could have used something else. But this ya makes it even more personal. Do you understand the point that I'm trying to make here? Is that Allah Azza wa Jal is so close to you. He is there. You just need to raise your hands. You just need to ask Allah Azza wa Jal for whatever it is that your heart desires. Don't limit it. Enhance it. The Prophet ﷺ would say that if you're going to ask about Jannah, فَاسْأَلُوهُ عَنِ الْفِرْدَوْسِ, then ask about Firdaus. Do you not see yourself in the front lines of Jannat al-Firdaus sitting with the Prophet ﷺ? Do you think you don't have the potential to do that? Do you think that you don't have the capability to do that? Of course you do, my dear brother and sister. Raise your hands and ask Allah Azza wa Jal for whatever it is that you want. So Allah says, فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. I respond to the caller when they call me. So this is another layer of emphasis again. That when they call me, I will indeed for a fact respond. So as a mu'min, as a Muslim, when you call upon Allah Azza wa Jal, you have to have 100% certainty that whatever it is that you're asking for, Allah Azza wa Jal has responded to your call. He may not give you the exact thing that you're asking for, because maybe that is not good for you. And maybe what you're complaining about is actually not that big of a deal. But in your mind at that time, it is a big of a deal. But in reality, it is not. And Allah Azza wa Jal will respond to your call. He will replace it with something that is actually good for you. And that is actually something that you need. Or He will remove a barrier that is there in your life. Whether that is a sickness or whether that is some other sort of issue. Allah Azza wa Jal responds to you. So you have to have that tawakkul. You have to have that trust in Allah Azza wa Jal. When a believer has that kind of a trust, then you have a relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. And as such, you can become from the close people of Allah Azza wa Jal, from the awliya of Allah Azza wa Jal. And it doesn't matter how small you are, or how insignificant you are, or how big of a sinner you are, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter how big of a scholar you are and how big of an alim you are, the relationship that you can have with Allah Azza wa Jal is the same. And that's what makes Al-Islam exceptional, unfounded elsewhere, this type of relationship. From the smallest member to the highest authority in the religion. فأقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فجزاكم الله خيرا.
في بحور الغي والإثم غريقا كنت عابدا في قيود الذنب مملوكا رقيقا.